Hello and welcome back. I'm gonna do like a short update here on the pickup truck. The diesel heater I installed. I can also show you through all my other vehicles at the same time quickly. Sun is just going down. It was a beautiful day today. It's 3 o'clock, so I'm living quite far north. Not really, it's West Sweden, but still, yeah, getting dark at 3-4 o'clock. It's a little bit too dark this time of the year. That's why it's good to be off work sometimes in the middle of the day to get done something outdoors. Here I have my Oldsmobile V8 diesel tractor, waiting for a new tire since it's snow plowing season soon. I have to get it working, so I had a flat tire here. That's why I'm gonna put this tire on here. I have to fix with the brakes first a little bit, and then it's gonna be ready for snow plowing. There I have an excavator, 3-cylinder diesel, Deutsch diesel, German brand. Built it a couple years ago and got it running and fixed some hydraulics and things like that, changed wheels, and yeah, got it quite cheap. It's good for what I need it for, making some holes here and there, helped someone to dig a well and things like that. Not the best condition, it's kind of loose everywhere, but it works. That's the best. I repaired all the brakes because they were non-functioning. It's air over hydraulic, so there is compressed air that actuates a hydraulic cylinder down there. And it's also the only excavator probably of this age with air conditioner. Yes, I installed up there, you see the evaporator. It's like a eBay thing that I bought, eBay kit. So it's up there, and here is the condenser unit. Yeah, it works. Really nice to have air conditioner in the summer. I don't have any heat in it though, so I avoid using it in the winter. The soil is anyway frozen in the winter, so there is not going to be much of digging. There you see the compressor installed, and there is a small turbo as well, a Volvo turbo that I installed to compensate for the power loss of the air conditioner. Yes, I can notice when the AC compressor kicks on, then it drops a couple kilometers of speed. So yeah, it's just a 3-cylinder diesel. So although it's a direct injected, that's quite rare, as I understood. With these Deutsch diesels, they are usually pre-chamber diesel, so it is actually starting pretty well right now. Even though it's -degrees, I'm not gonna start it right now. I don't have a battery in it right now. Okay, 3 minutes of just talking. Now let's go back to this one. By the way, yesterday I also installed white or clear front turn signals. I think it looks better that way than the orange ones. I still have orange roof lights, but they are on a red background, so that fits better. The front ones have chrome bezel around them, so I think that it looks better that way, I guess. And also it's going to be easier with the safety inspection, since Sweden is so ridiculous with its rules about lighting. All the Nordic countries around us allow the American specifications, but not Sweden. Go figure. This truck actually has the exception of having the red turn signals in the back, which I'm happy for. I like to have that all original, like it should be, because it has been imported by someone that moved to Sweden from the US and brought it with him. Then it's okay, but not if you just import it to have it. It's so stupid system, so I can puke on these regulations. I hate it. But anyhow, now I have amber bulbs in there, and so the parking lights and the flashers are amber, which I want to have. But when I do the safety inspection, I put a white bulb in there. Then the parking lights are white, which they need to be, but the blinkers will also be white. And go figure, that's legal. Apparently that's legal. They claim that's better than having them amber all. That's like just ridiculous. I don't know why, but that's how I do it, and then I switch back to the amber bulbs after the inspection. Yeah, so all the lamps on the roof and the side mirror lamps and all that, I have a switch for that, so I turn it off on the safety inspection. Also something that I find it quite ridiculous. Also, these red side markers are illegal, so they go on the same switch. Yeah, but luckily red turn signals in the back are legal. And I also added, in the backup light, I added another red bulb, so I have a turn signal and brake light there and there. So I have double of them to get a little better visibility, of course, because yeah, not many run with red turn signals in Sweden, so it's better to have them quite visible, which I think they are quite visible, because if you add some orange bullshit under the fender, no one is going to see that, and it's going to be all covered in snow in the winter. It's not going to be visible, rather than the whole tail lamp blinking. That's way better. Yeah, of course, since I'm so nerdy on the American lightning, I also added red American taillights on my tipping trailer. Which is not even registered, so I can have whatever I want on that one. And I have an American trailer as well, a Luma trailer, which is quite rare because they are impossible to register here with electric brakes. This one is also imported as part of someone that moved here, so I'm pretty happy with it. It has all the red turn signals and electric brakes intact. So yeah, I pull it with the Ford pickup. It's quite a good one. Yeah, added a winch to it as well. Okay, now let's have a look at the electrical wiring that I made today in the sunshine -3 degrees day that we had. So I'm freezing my fingers off. Here I connected some fused battery supply. There I have a relay, and as I mentioned in the previous video, I also want to connect another relay that controls the speed of the motor. So how did I do it here? One of the fuses are for the power supply to the diesel heater and the controls and everything. The other fuse is for the fan relay, so I didn't want to cut any of the original connectors, so I saved them all. Here is the original fan motor connector that was connected over there, so I just have a splice in between. And the 12 volt supply here, which is a ignition switched 12 volt supply, goes through the relay and back to the fan motor. But when the diesel heater activates the relay, when the coolant is up to 35 degrees Celsius, this gets activated, it switches over to the other terminal, and then it takes battery power to power the motor with. The ground to the motor still goes through the original resistor in there and through the switch inside, which I'm gonna also fix with another relay later on. Now I just have to remember to have the switch in the lowest fan setting to not drain the battery too fast. Then I have another connector here that I prepared. This one is gonna go to a solenoid. Where did I put the solenoid? Gone. Yeah, somewhere. I put that one away. Wait a minute. So here it is. For those of you that also enjoy the terrible Olds V8 diesel that I really like because it's so terrible. Actually, it's a really good engine if you treat it well. Yeah, this one is from the EGR system on the Olds diesel, which I removed on my Olds 98. But it's a good solenoid because it has a purge port, so it can purge out the vacuum. So when this one gets activated, it's gonna purge the vacuum out from this valve. So as I described in the previous video, when I have the mode selector on off or maximum AC, there is vacuum here, and it's gonna close and bypass the coolant, which I don't want if I use the diesel heater, of course, because then it's gonna not heat the cab. So then the solenoid will cut off that vacuum supply and purge out the vacuum in the valve here to make the coolant go to the heater. The recirculation flap can still be in the closed setting because that doesn't matter. Then the hot air just recirculates and it heats up better. So that's how I'm gonna do that. Here is the cables that go to the controller inside the cab. Then I placed it here, so there I have the timer. If I pull out this knob, then it's blinking and then it's counting. So that's the time right now, and when it goes over here, it's gonna start and run for an hour before it shuts off. I'm not gonna activate it right now. Then you can set the clock here. And this is a on-off switch, so I can run the heater directly. You can hear it's gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna shut it off right now. I don't need to heat it up. So yeah, these controls are for the air suspension. I'm gonna do some better kind of panel here to make it nicer. This is on off for the compressor, air compressor, and then up and down, front and back. It's not proper airbags. It's just, here I have on the front axle, you see it's air shocks that I added to get a little bit higher ground clearance and compensate for load. So it's the twin traction bar front axle, recently repaired. All the bushings and everything is changed. All the everything that can be worn out, all the U-joints and everything. So yeah, these front shocks comes from, I think they are rear shocks from a Mustang 2. I found the correct measurement, so they fit there in the original bracket. I had to weld that little support there so it didn't bend the bracket too much, so the load goes straight down and rests on the axle. And there, now it's not very inflated. There is barely nothing in there. Yeah, but I can inflate it, and then it lifts up like 2 inches maximum in the front. It's in the back, it's lifting a little bit more. It's maybe 1.5 inch in the front, and then 2.5 inches in the back if I inflate these ones to maximum. Okay, that was all. I'm also looking for some parts here. If any one of you have the air duct that goes to the air filter and down here. I know that this is not correct because this truck, the bullnose front, doesn't have the turbo. But I think the intake on the round air filter that the 6.9 has is still a 4-inch round, so I think it's gonna fit there, and then the plastic thingies that goes down there would be needed. If anyone has that and would like to ship to Sweden, I'm interested in buying. Also, I would need a connector for the wiper motor and the hold down clamp for this battery. That's things I've been looking at scrapyards here in Sweden. We have a lot of Broncos around, but yeah, apparently haven't had luck to find these parts. And also they aren't possible to find new. I've looked at LMC Truck and Rockauto and everywhere. So the hood cowl, I think I found that on LMC Truck. I'm gonna replace that cowl seal, this one. It's all rotted out, so that will need replacement. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's see how this works. I still have to cover these hoses a bit. I am disturbed about that they stand out so much in color. We'll see what I do with that. Okay, no more sunshine. Have a great evening, everyone.